Hey, Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kwakadash. Yahweh, who the word only calls God, Yahweh Shah, who the word only calls Jesus, when he given the honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, who has taught me this truth, when he give peace and blessings to the I came across the four corners of the earth, who teach this truth and rest like to do so. It's going to be a quick video. Lord, the video is edifying. Only I can get something from this video. Quick video through the Spirit, man. I'm going to grab a couple of precepts here, basically going into the mind of this Edomite, man, and what he does. And you got to understand, I was watching a video earlier, like the Spirit had me watching, just scrolling through social media and shit, and I was looking at a couple posts, and a lot of things are coming out about these Amalekites, man, and how wherever they go, they cause havoc, they cause destruction, right? They cause confusion, right? They are loyal to nobody but themselves, right? They'll set up a war between two nations and fund both sides. Like, they'll do a bunch of shit, you know what I'm saying, in order to get their shekels, right? Because when you go to matter of fact, when you go to Eliphaz, let me right here, Genesis 36 and 12. Let's go got a blue letter. Genesis 36, well, I say 12. Let's read it. It says, let me just go to the point. 11, it says, and the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatum, and Kenaz. It says in Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. Okay, so let's go here. Let's get that word for Eliphaz, which is their father, right? And let's see what his name means. It says Eliphaz. Let me see if I'm saying that.
Strong's H464. Eliphaz.
Eliphaz. Okay, it says, my God is gold. My God is fine gold. Esau's son, father of Teman, the Temanite, friend of Job. So his God is gold, man. Okay? They worship gold, right? And they do anything for it. That's why they're so vicious when it comes to their dollar. They're so vicious when you let them in the banking industry, when you let them in certain different things. They use money and they use interest, right, on everybody to make money. And what they do is they fund it within themselves. When you look at what makes them powerful is that A, they're not under the curses, but B, they're not the true people. C, they do a lot of inside network with one another. So when you go to like the Diamond District in New York, right, you'll have Amalek doing business with Amalek. You also have Amalek doing business with Ishmael. Okay, they do business with each other. Okay, and who is most of their clientele? Well, Jake that got money. Nobody spent money like Jake. I did a video a couple years back. It's called if I'm not mistaken, it's called the Black Dollar. And when you do the research on what it means, is they basically did a statistic on how long does it take for Jake to spend money versus the other nations, right? And I think that Amalek spends money every 3 months. It's been a minute since I looked at the article, but I think Amalek spends money every 3 months or 2 months, one of the two or three. Like they spend $5 every three. It sounds crazy, but they spend like, it takes them three months to spend $5. It takes Moab 3 months to spend $5. It takes the American Edomite a month to spend $5. It takes Jake 5 hours to spend $5. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that wouldn't be a problem if Jake spent it with each other. But the problem is Jake will rob and steal and kill from one another and go feed these fucking nations, right? And it's part of the curses ultimately, right? That's why, Jake could be hella talented, right? Coming out the ghettos of America, rapping, making music, you know what I'm saying? Making movies, playing sports, all that. But who they gotta go to? Who do we have to go to ultimately to get into the industry, so-called, right? You gotta go through these Amalekites. You know what I'm saying? And these Amalekites gotta fuck with you, right? And they fuck with you based off of how much poison you can spread throughout your community, because the more poison you spread, the more they get fed. Okay? That's what it is, man. And that is our enemy. Okay? And ultimately, Amalek is the top nation of Esau. So Esau is our enemy, man. Okay? Let me grab, let me see. Matter of fact, right here. This is Ezekiel 35:12. It says, "And thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume." And this is the mindset that Esau has toward Jake, right? So they look at Jake like animals, cattle, goyim, right? They look at Jake like nothing. They look at Jake like a prophet. And Jake is a prophet to these fucking other nations, man. I just explained to you how and why. Okay? But it's coming to a time where, because if you see now, Jake is waking up, man. It's coming to a time where it's like, you nations finna be put under subjection, man. And it's only right. Here it is. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. You guys are all in cahoots with each other, right? As far as rulership. And look how fucked up the world is. Look how fucked up the people is. If you live in a Western civilization, if you live in America, look how fucked up and backwards the society is, man. Here it is. You empowered women and children to do what the fuck they want to do. You empowered moles on both sides, men and women, right? So, and that's it's dangerous, man, right? I was watching a clip, right? And a dude said, he said, man, these women are having sex like men, trying to compete with the man. That's why STDs are at an alarming rate. Back then, it wasn't like that. Back then, it was, in a I say, like, I'm a young man, you know what I'm saying? But from what I was hearing, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, even the 80s, kind of, right? Women were a lot better than what they are now. Jake could live in a neighborhood and then have children with a woman, and then those children become best friends with the other kids in the other neighborhood, and the whole time they fucking siblings. Because they father, Papa was a Rolling Stone, man. You know what I'm saying? Their father had a woman over here, a woman over there. You wasn't hearing about no fucking STDs and nothing like that. Now today, oh man, women are destroying themselves trying to get back at the man, trying to compete with the man. Bitch, you're going to shortly find out that you are not a man. You can't do what you... Now, go lay on your back and get stabbed as many times as you fucking want to and see the consequence that's going to happen to you. You're going to destroy yourself trying to compete with a man. Women, a real woman stays in a woman's place. They don't compete with men. Bitches and hoes and girls try to compete with men. And then when they 35, 45, 55, 65, reality slapped them beside the motherfucking head. That's what it be. You know what I'm saying? It says, "Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them." Let me go to let's get a precept real quick. Zechariah, what is that? No, I don't think it's Zechariah. I think it's in Psalms. Let me see. My stomach growling. All together. Let's select it. Yep. Psalms 50 and 21. Here, man. This is Psalms 50 and 21. It says, "These things has thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such one in thyself. But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes." Now, you guys thought that, you Edomites thought, and you other nations too, because you are confederate against us, and you're in cahoots. You're confederate, you guys are all in cahoots with each other. You're confederate against Israel, right? That's why the scripture name you other nations as our enemies. Okay? It says, and these motherfuckers has always been our enemies. If you even just do your research about the Good Samaritans and the things that they were doing, and when it was time to get gifts and blessings, how they would act like they was us. And then, when we were catching hell, they're like, hell no, I ain't that. You know what I'm saying? You even had that now. They got it saying everybody want to be a nigga till it's time to be a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm leaving the gym right now, and I see a Edomite looking dude in his car blast the Young Jeezy. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And if he an Edomite, he'll, underneath his breath, say all kind of racial slurs and have all kind of wicked ass thoughts toward Jake. It says, "These things has I done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such one myself." Yeah, because you haven't really been touched or punished yet. But the touching and the punishing is coming shortly. Okay? Again, all you nations will be in subjection. Okay, it says, "These things has I done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes." And who's being reproved and who's being set in order? Well, the true biblical Israelites across the four corners of the earth. Okay? Being north, east, south, and west. Okay? Let me go to Numbers 24, I think. Yep, right here. Yep, Numbers 24 and 18. It says, "And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly." It says, "Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city." And when he looked up on Amalek, he took a parable and said, "Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever." So Esau, when you go to even in the book of Obadiah, it says there should be no more remaining of the house of Esau. Amalek is an Edomite. Okay, it says, "And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also should be a possession for his enemies." It says, "And Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that have dominion." Now, when the Lord come back, right, he's going to have dominion. When the Lord come back, you nations will be in subjection underneath the Lord, the elect, right? Because, in the kingdom, it's still going to be order. You know what I mean? And it's the Lord's kingdom. You know what I mean? But Lord willing, I'm one of those men, because scripture talk about in Romans, us being joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. Okay? But when that comes, guess what? You other nations will be in destruction. You other nations will be in subjection. Salakia, but you Edomites, you're going to be destroyed eventually. You're going to be wiped off the face of the planet of the earth. That's why scripture say there should be no more remaining of the house of Esau. So all Esau and his tribes is going to be done for. All you nations will still be, all the rest of you heathen nations will still be in subjection, right? Under us, but you're going to get your own land and okay, this and that, but you're going to have to pay tribute to us. Okay? When you go to Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, it talks about us being that mountain above the hills, that government, okay, that you people are going to have to, abide by. The same law we practice now, we're going to use to police the universe. Because why? It's the perfect way to live. Right now, you motherfuckers are living like savages, man. So the earth needs true rulers, man. These people need true rulers. These people need true gods on earth, which are the Israelites. And in due time, the world will see. Okay? Hey, so with that, man, Lord, that's edifying. Only I can got something from this video. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Kakadash. I want to tell you, brothers, keep pushing. Lord willing, I get to keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, the Lord, continues to give us this knowledge and feed us, man, across the world, so we can keep this thing pushing. and going until the Lord come back. As a matter of fact, let me end it with this. Yep. Revelations 2:25, it says, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. This is the Lord talking. So this truth that we have already hold fast. Okay, it says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with the rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. So, these nations will be in subjection. These nations will be ran. Okay, and he that overcometh and keepeth the Lord's words to the end, the Lord is going to give him. That's a man that's a part of the elect, and we know what the elect don't get. The elect is going to be immortal, man. Well, all of Israel will be immortal, but the elect is going to receive power, man. And again, it's going to be certain order in the kingdom. But what it says, what? But that which ye have hold already fast till I come. So we got to hold this truth, okay? Cling on to it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, man. Till the Lord come and deliver us out of here. Lord will not be one of those men. Hey, so with that, man, Lord willing, Akim got something from this video. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakadash. I want to tell you, brothers, keep pushing on to the next. Shalom.